Chapter 29. Pine and Cloves. Isla. I was having such a lovely dream about the scent of pine and cloves, the scent of the forest on a warm day. My dream, that scent, was abruptly replaced by the smell of bleach. No, it's not bleach. Something just as strong and clean smelling. Behind my eyelids seems very bright. They look red, and I close them tighter, not ready to face what's on the other side of them. Am I dead, or am I still with the rogues? I couldn't decide which one was worse. Probably the rogues. A soft, consistent beeping sound gets louder and louder until it's the only thing I can hear. It rings in my ears. Sighing, I realize that wherever I am, I'm unfortunately awake. Dead or alive, I'm awake. I wonder if that makes sense. I laugh to myself, or maybe it's out loud. I count to 3 and open my eyes and flinch, recoiling against a light as bright as the sun. Is it the sun? No, it's too white to be the sun, so I must be inside somewhere. That seems to be a good sign. I blink, trying to get my eyes to focus. The beeping speeds up and a door opens. Yes, I am inside then. Someone leans over me, placing their hand on my forehead. I'm grateful for the sudden reprise from the bright light. How are you feeling? The sound echoes in my ears. I realize she must be speaking to me. I open my mouth to talk, but my throat is so dry I couldn't get anything out. 1 second, lovely. Let me get you a drink. You've been out for a few days now. Don't worry, your fluid levels are perfect, she says, motioning to a tube stuck in my hand. But no fluids through your mouth, I'm afraid. She helps me sit up a bit and brings a glass of water with a straw and helps me take a sip. I'm suddenly very thirsty and drink the whole thing in a few long sips. Whoa, calm down. There's more where that came from. I try to smile at her, but I'm not sure if I do. I'll give you some time to try to recoup. The doctor will need to ask you a few questions when you're feeling up to it, just to make sure you're getting the best possible treatment. I groan, wincing and looking at the lights. Would you like me to dim the lights? I nod a bit. The room gets darker and I feel a lot better, almost relaxed. The Alpha will come in to see you in a bit. I'll tell him to give you some space. She closes the door behind her. Oh my goddess. I start to panic and the beeping speeds up. I realize that the beeping must coincide with my heart somehow. I don't want the Alpha to come in here. I know him and Megan must be so mad at me for skipping my special task and also leaving the Omegas 1 pair of hands down during Haley's weekend. Oh my, what about Seth? I am in such a vulnerable position. I bet they're going to be so angry with me. I must be in the PAC hospital. I'm grateful that I'm alive and somehow made it back home, but I would pay for using the PAC's resources like this. The door clicks, and I try to hide inside myself. I wonder if I could find a way to slip back into unconsciousness. Maybe I could pretend to be sleeping. Before I could make up my mind, a tall man walks through the door, almost taking up the entire frame. That's one tall doctor. I look at his face, and I have never seen anything as beautiful before. He looks like he is a statue, a god that an entire society would have worshipped. His midnight black hair contrasts with the most piercing blue eyes I've ever seen. Even in the dim light, they were bright and attentive. Was that worry in his eyes? It made me sad. I didn't want this man to ever be worried. His jawline and cheekbones look like they were carved. There is no way someone could have been born this beautiful. Adrastea is running circles in my mind, giving my already tender head a headache. Will you stop that? Mate! What? Mate! What? That's when I smell it. The scent that has been enveloping my dreams. Pine and clove. The scent of pine after it had rained. The most heavenly scent I've ever smelled. My lips part slightly. Is there really any chance that this beautiful creature was destined to belong to me? We stare at each other for a while. I wish I knew what he was thinking. He closes the gap between us in 3 long strides and pulls up a chair beside my bed. He hesitates slightly but takes my hand in his. My hand feels like it's been energized and pleasant sparks radiate from my palm. Warmth spreads out from where his hand is touching mine and spreads through my entire body. I feel completely comfortable and at ease. "Hi, Isla," a silk voice says. I still can't catch my breath. I'm not sure if it's because my throat is still dry or because he said my name. "My name is Jackson," he goes on. Jackson, I like that. I smile at him. Thankfully, the doctor comes in, so I don't have to attempt to talk. "Hello, Isla. Do you know where you are?" he says with concern in his voice, studying my face intently. He looked to be in the late 40s, his dark hair graying on the sides, and had kind eyes. He reminded me a bit of Abigail, and I oddly felt comfortable around him already. "Silver Lake?" I say. "This must be the PAC clinic." He looks at me curiously. "I've never been in the clinic before, so I'm not exactly sure," I try to explain. Jackson and the doctor exchange a look. "You must have been healthy then." "No, sir, I'm an Omega." He doesn't say anything, seeming to wait for an explanation. "So we don't use the clinic unless it's an emergency," I explain, confused how he doesn't know this. "We have some Omegas that have trained themselves in first aid, so there's really no need." Okay. The doctor doesn't know what to say and exchanges a look with Jackson. "Well, you are at Moonstone PAC. Our Gamma found you in the woods after you lost consciousness due to a head injury." "Oh," was all I could manage. The Alpha was supposed to be ruthless and had expanded his packs by taking over other smaller ones. I didn't want to face him, and I was kind of hoping Jackson might come back to Silver Moon with me, but I was getting ahead of myself. "How are you feeling? Be honest." Weird," I say honestly. My body hurts, but I've also never felt so content or comfortable in my life. He looks at his clipboard. 2 broken ribs, a shattered kneecap, a mild concussion, and you needed a few stitches. I would imagine you're not feeling the best." The gorgeous man, Jackson, lets out a growl next to me, and I jump, pulling my hand away. He looks remorseful and puts his hand at the edge of the bed, palm up, an invitation. I look at him and put my hand lightly back into his. "Don't scare her, she's been through enough," the doctor warns him, and he looks apologetic. "It shouldn't take you that long to get back to normal. I don't see any lasting injuries." He goes back to looking at something on his clipboard, then looking at some of the machines around me that I now realized I'm hooked up to. "I would like you to stay another day or 2 for monitoring." I nod. "How long?" I leave the question open. "Have you been out?" I nod. "Almost 2 days now." My eyes go wide. "You have only just got your wolf, am I correct?" I nod again. "She's doing her best to heal you, but you've had a lot of physical and I'm sure mental trauma in the past few days, so the healing is taking a bit longer than it will in the future. Not that you'll probably sustain these kinds of injuries again, although. I hope this is a one-time thing, Luna." Jackson coughs, and the doctor looks at him with a raised eyebrow, then nods after a silent conversation, probably mind link. "Well then," he continues, "you should make a full recovery. I'll get a few more pain meds into your system while you wait out the rest of your healing." "Thank you." He gives me a wide smile. This man is easily likable. Jackson?" "Yes?" He looks into my eyes, his face lights up. "Do you think I could send a message to someone? I want someone to know I'm safe." "If you're talking about Abigail, she already knows. I spoke to her directly today." I was confused about how he knew, but relieved that she knew I was okay. I wondered when I would see her again, if I would see her again. I actually had so many questions for him. How did he even know I was at the hospital? When did he know I was his mate? I figured I would start with the basics. I was too worn out to get the answers to the million questions swimming in my mind. And you're part of this pack? Moonstone? You could say that, yes. Okay, I say, not sure what else to say. This has been one of the craziest weeks of my life. From all the drama with the ranked members, gaining my wolf, leaving my pack, and then now finding my mate. I didn't know what to feel besides worn out. My eyes suddenly felt very heavy, even though I've been unconscious for I'm not sure how long. You can go to sleep. I'll be here when you wake up. That is, if you want me to. He asks me. I smile at him and lay back down, my eyes heavy. I feel something lightly brush across my face, sending warmth through my body before I drift off into a comfortable sleep. Jackson. I watch my mate sleep. Despite some bruises still covering her face that haven't fully healed, she was still the most perfect thing in the world. Her thick hair fanned out all around her on the pillow, and a few tendrils fell across her face that I brushed back behind her ear. Her thick eyelashes twitches against her eyes as she dreamt. I hope of good things, now that she would always be safe with me. I traced the outline of her heart-shaped face, wanting to memorize everything about her. Her soft, pink lips looked so kissable, but I was determined to take this slow. She's been through a lot recently. She's probably been through a lot her entire life, actually. I was determined to make the rest of her life amazing and fill it with all the experiences that she might have missed out on in the past. I brushed my lips against her forehead, and she sighed and seemed to drift into a deeper sleep. I hope I could never get over the way she made me feel by just being in the same room as her. I couldn't wait to introduce her to my parents and the pack. Again, I was getting ahead of myself. I would take it slow and get her used to the Moonstone pack before she took it over as Luna. Jax, man, do you have a minute? I looked down at my sleeping mate. She would probably be sleeping for a while. I know the doctor gave her some more pain meds to help while her wolf was healing her. Coming. Where are you? Your office? I kissed the back of her hand and regretfully slip out of the room. Now that she's woken up, I didn't want to miss any second of time I had with her. I asked the nurse on the way out to link me if she wakes up. I slept the last 2 nights next to her in a chair. Well, I didn't sleep very well. I was so worried about her, especially because she was out for so long. I wanted to be there if anything changed, and rarely too far from Pack Hospital during the day. I ran back up to my office and opened the door. Lucas and Cam were already sitting on the chairs across from my desk, laughing and joking with each other. Everything okay? Yeah, we just wanted to check in with you. We haven't seen you in a few days, Cam says. How's she doing? Lucas looked genuinely worried. She woke up a bit ago. We had a short conversation. She doesn't seem to know I'm the alpha, but I'm going to let her ease into life here. She's been through so much with rogues, and then being thrown into the dungeon. I give Cam a pointed look. Even though I forgave him after I knew she was taken care of, I wasn't going to let him off the hook that easily. He looked down ashamed. How much longer until we can get her out? Lucas continues. At least a day. I'm hoping sooner, but I want her to make a full recovery. What can we do? Cam adds, happy to be of any help. That's actually a great question. She came with only 1 bag that had barely anything in it, so she will pretty much need everything. I didn't want to do this yet, but we need a woman's help. Mom? Yes, sweetie, so nice to hear from you. Can you come by my office? Bring Dad if he's around too, but no pressure, I say, ignoring her sarcasm. Is everything okay? More than okay, just need a bit of help from you. I'll be there in 10. My mom's on the way, I explain. All right, then I guess that's our cue. Cam moves to get up. No, I need you both here for moral support. You know how long my mom has been waiting for grandkids. I'm nervous about her reaction, or overreaction would be more like it. A few minutes later, and there's a soft but firm knock on the door. I open the door and my mom walks in, looking put together as always. The perfect Luna. My dad follows behind her, smiling, and greets Cam and Lucas. They get up to give chairs to my parents and move to the couch behind them. So, sweetie, what is it? She folds her hands and looks up expectantly. Going away again? Need us to take over the pack? My dad asks excitedly. Not just yet. I need you to be calm, Mom, please. But I take a deep breath. I found my mate. I close my eyes and wait for it. My mom jumps up and is immediately behind the desk, throwing herself at me, peppering my head with kisses. My baby! Oh, my little boy! I am so happy for you! Where is she? When can I meet her? Oh, the Luna ceremony! There is so much to be done! She doesn't stop to let me get a word in. A whole new wardrobe will be in order. Is she from here? She couldn't be, so you met her this weekend. What pack is she from? We're going to have to invite her parents. Mom, please. I stand up, taking her hands in mine, trying to stop the motherly assault. My dad comes up behind her and gives me a quick but firm hug. Lucas and Cam are laughing, holding their stomachs behind us. Congrats, son. We can't wait to meet her. Now, can you please sit down and be reasonable? I look at my mom. She brushes her skirt and gives a quick nod, but the excitement doesn't leave her face. I tell them the short version of her long weekend, and by the end, they look shocked. Wow, son, that is a lot. I'm glad she's okay. I can't bear to think about what could have happened to that sweet girl. So I'm going to ease her into the pack and her duties as Luna. The thing is, she didn't come with pretty much anything. Just a bag that was slung on her back with an old toothbrush and one pair of clothes. My mom clasped her hands together excitedly. So I guess you guessed what I need help with. I don't want you to go too overboard. I don't know what kind of clothes she even likes. I promise you can take her on a massive shopping spree when she's ready. This appeases my mother a bit. But she does need everything. Clothes, toiletries, anything else you can think of that would make her feel comfortable and at home. I'll have it all ready for her in your room by this evening, my mom says, standing up. Thanks, Mom. You're the best. I guess that's my cue to go get the car then, my dad says, looking a bit worn out already. You know you don't have to come with me. I can take a driver to help with the bags. Yes, dear, but you know how much I love being around you, even if it's holding your bags. Cam and Lucas make gagging noises, and I roll my eyes at my parents. Even though I get it now, it's less annoying now that I found my mate. I'm sure I would do anything Isla wanted, and would be happy to do it just to be around her. All right then, I'm going to take a quick shower and grab some things for Isla. Link me if you need me. I'll be in the hospital. Chapter 30. The Luna for lunch and lasagna for dinner. Isla. I wake up again to someone shaking my arm. It didn't feel warm, and I felt suddenly alone. The absence of the comfortable warmth was palpable. I fought my eyes open and saw a dimly lit room, the beeping of the heart monitor comforting me now, an indication of where I was, some semblance of familiarity. I turned my head to face what was touching me, and in Jackson's place sat a beautiful girl. Perfect, dirty blonde curls framed her angular face. I thought you would never wake up. How much sleep do you need? She complains, rolling her hazel eyes. I thought I would come in here and officially introduce myself. I'm this pack's Luna. She smiles. Something about her smile feels off. Oh. I sit up a bit. She was young, but I guess the alpha was probably young here too. I was just used to Juliana being in her 40s now. Hi, thanks for coming down? I say hesitantly, not sure why the Luna was here greeting me personally. It was a nice touch, but I wasn't entirely sure it was necessary. Maybe it was because she thought I was going to be part of this pack because my mate was here. Maybe Jackson told the lead Omega and they had to do that new member ceremony Abigail mentioned. Where is he anyway? I already missed him. I just wanted to welcome you to our pack. How long do you think you'll be staying? She said, eyeing the machines attached to me. Thank you so much for all your hospitality. I know I must be a huge burden on your pack, and I promise I'll find a way to repay you once I'm better. She nods, a sour look on her face. Well, you're nice. A bit too nice, she muses. Oh well. She stands. Yes, you do owe me. I was the one that saved your life. Not that you remember. You were out with some trivial head injuries. Prone to fatigue, are we? My previous theory was correct. All ranked members, even from other packs, kinda really suck. She leaves without a backward glance. I wonder if she would be okay with me staying in this pack. If Jackson wanted me to, that is. I would go wherever he would. I wonder if his Omega quarters were nicer than ours. When Omegas found a mate, well, if they found a mate, at Silver Moon they got to share a room all to themselves. For making Omega babies, Abigail explained once. Maybe we would get our own room here as well. My head feels a bit light and I slip back into sleep. I wake up again, this time not so disoriented, but I smile when I see Jackson's face replace the Luna's. Hi, I smile. Hello, mate, he says. That was the best thing I've ever heard. So he's accepting me. I brought you a few books. I noticed you had one packed, and I thought it might mean that you like reading. I nod enthusiastically as he piles 10 books that I've never heard of on the bed next to me. I sit up slowly and rub my hands over the covers, reading them. 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Little Woman, Animal Farm, The Great Gatsby, The Hobbit. I've never read any of these before. I didn't know what you liked to read, so I brought a bit of everything. He smiles sheepishly, and it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. Thank you so much. Can I borrow some of them while I'm here? You can keep them. Anything you want here is yours. That seemed a bit excessive. Way too much for him to promise, but I'm sure he was feeling these mate jitters too. Although it's hard to believe that he would think the same way about me as I him. He was without a doubt the most perfect-looking person I've ever seen, and so sweet and attentive too. Once you're allowed out, I can show you around the pack house and the grounds. We won't push it, but there are a few amazing spots I want to show you. My mom has gotten a few clothes and essentials for you, but we can buy whatever you need. I gulped. His mom. He must have noticed because he patted my hand and said, Don't worry. She's under strict instructions to give us space until you're ready. I nod. Even though I'm frightened at the prospect of meeting this beautiful man's mother, I was excited because maybe they would like me and I would have kind of a family here. Do you want me to stay here? I blurted out without thinking. He looks confused. Yes, of course. You are my life now. I want to be where you are always. Unless there was somewhere else you want to go? He pauses. Did you want to return to Silver Moon? I shake my head, although I would miss those packlands and the only home I've ever known. Well, the only home I could remember. I knew I could never leave him. I want to be with you. He smiles and takes my cheeks in his hands and looks at me with such intensity it's hard not to look away. He kisses my forehead and then both cheeks and lastly my nose. My heart monitor gives me away and he lets out a low chuckle, his warm breath fanning my cheeks. I let out a ragged breath that I was holding as he let my face go. I promise we will go at your pace, Isla. I smile at him. How did I get so lucky? Now, are you hungry? I'm starving, I say, not realizing until he asked just how hungry I was. I guess I was getting my nutrients from a tube, but that still didn't exactly satisfy me. What would you like? I'll have anything you want made. He looks at me with such intensity again. Oh, no, I don't want anyone to go to any trouble. Whatever is easiest. I'll take a sandwich or any leftovers from the last meal. He frowns. But what is your favorite food? I actually have to think about that. We had this one amazing lasagna one time. I remember that Abigail gave me her portion because I liked it so much. I smiled, remembering. His eyes lit up. I'll be back in a few minutes. I know I'm in a hospital bed, but I really haven't been happier. I pick up a book absent-mindedly and start reading. He really is yummy. I laugh out loud. Yes, he is. We got lucky, but we deserve it. I hope you're right. I always am, baby cheeks. Ugh. Jackson comes back in a few minutes with an assortment of bottled drinks and something that smells delicious. What are you in the mood to drink? My eyes widen at the selection. Are you sure we're allowed to have this? How did you get away with stealing so many? I didn't want him to get in trouble on my account. Look at me. I look up. I'm positive. Choose whatever you like. Take them all if you want. I hesitate, but open a bottle of orange juice, downing half of it in one go. That was delicious, I say. It was the first time I could remember drinking orange juice. We were allowed coffee and water. Maybe it was different here. That gave me hope. So they're working on the lasagna, homemade every step, no corners cut. He looks very serious. It's my mom's recipe, and she is directing everyone in the kitchen. He laughs. I'm mortified. I didn't want anyone to go to any trouble, and now his mom is making the other Omegas change the dinner menu for her son's mate? Don't worry, she's happy to do it. But I made you my specialty. He comes to sit by me and lifts a napkin off a plate, revealing 2 grilled cheese sandwiches without crusts. The lasagna might take a while, so I brought you something quick. I take one eagerly and take a bite. It was warm, buttery, and gooey. Everything I needed. This might be the best thing I've ever had, I sigh. I'm glad. He flashes me a perfect smile and comes and sits down next to me and holds up his grilled cheese. Cheers. I smile. He seems so curious about me and asks me questions about my childhood and growing up in Silver Lake, about Abigail and my hobbies and interests. I'm embarrassed to say I don't have many hobbies as we didn't get much time to do anything besides work, but I do love reading when I can and being outside as much as possible. He frowned when he heard that, but kept on asking me questions the whole time, holding his hand in mine, rubbing the back with his thumb. Now is it my turn to get to know you? I ask. My life is pretty standard, pretty boring. I don't have much to tell you. I want to hear about you. Ask away. I'm an open book. That second, his eyes cloud over. Well, I'm an open book in a minute. Let me get you your food, my lady. He comes back in a few minutes with a massive tray and wheels a hospital bed table over to me and balances the tray on it. On it was the biggest piece of steaming lasagna I've ever seen, and nothing smelled more divine. There was a little jar with flowers on it, a side of garlic bread, and a large glass of ice water. Where's yours? I ask, seeing only one plate. He pulls out a plastic container and a fork and shows them to me. I'm more than happy with this, but you've been deprived of the pleasure of eating for the past few days. I thought it would make your first meal here memorable. My first meal here was that grilled cheese, and it will be one I never forget, I remind him. I know you want to know about me, but how about we turn something on? You look tired, and I want you to be able to focus on refueling. I promise we will have all the time in the world to get to know each other. I can't argue with that, and I put a huge forkful of lasagna into my mouth, moaning slightly. Jackson lets out a low chuckle and makes my stomach fill with butterflies. This has got to be the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. I'll pass along the compliment to my mother. He smiles. Now, what do you want to watch? Honestly, I'm not sure. I haven't ever watched anything. He looks at me. No, stares at me. Did I say something wrong? What do you mean? His eyebrows pull together. We didn't have time after work anyways, and besides, no one has a TV. I heard in the basement someone had a radio though. I would usually read before bed if I had the energy, but most days I was too tired. I shrug. Are you guys allowed TV here? Yes, of course. Everyone can watch, he says, seeming not to comprehend what I was saying. I guess every pack is different, I shrug. But what could you even have to do every day for that long? We didn't have too many Omegas. Well, I guess I don't know what to compare it to. Close to 70? but most Omegas haven't found their mates. Now his jaw is hanging wide open. We pretty much stay in the pack house, so if someone's mate is from another pack, or sometimes in the pack but not ever in the pack house, they won't ever meet them. Naturally, the numbers are going to dwindle, I explain. Just normal pack house duties, but you've seen the place. It is pretty big. I shrug, picking up a piece of garlic bread. I look up to see him still looking at me, seeming angry now. Give me a second. He mind-linked for a minute, and I'm happy enough to continue eating in silence, savoring every bite. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. He gives me a genuine smile. Everything okay? It's perfect. Chapter 31. Getting to Know You. Jackson. I found Shrek on TV, and Isla was absorbed immediately. I would rather watch her reaction to everything than the movie itself. I love seeing her light up like this, and I knew it was a feeling that I would never get over. I got her a second helping of lasagna, and by the end of the movie her eyes were drooping. Dr. Lockhart came back in near the end and gave her a bit more medication. He said he was slowly removing it from her system, and tomorrow she should be more alert and less tired. She was fighting to keep her eyes open until the end and fell back to the pillow as soon as the credits rolled. That was incredible, she sighed. I couldn't help but laugh as I brushed her hair from her face. We can watch the second one tomorrow. She opened her eyes and looked at me with excitement. There's a second one? I nodded. Now you get some sleep. She was quiet for a few minutes, and I thought she already passed out. Will you stay? She said in a voice barely above a whisper. Of course I will. I just need to step out for a few minutes in a bit, but I won't be far, I promise. I rub circles on her back until she falls asleep. Cam? Lucas? Yes, boss? What's up? She's asleep. Can we meet now? Yeah, we're in the rec room. Or do you want us to come to you? I look over at Isla, who seems to be in a deep sleep. I would be back before she knew I was gone. I'll come up. Be there in a few. I head to the rec room, a massive room to the side of the pack house, slightly hidden behind our formal areas, as my mom would call them. The arcade games and pool tables were courtesy of my dad. The gaming system and movie theater-sized television were my additions. There was a room off of this one that was smaller and held a smaller television, and I think a ping pong table no one used anymore. I could turn that into a theater room for Isla. I couldn't wait to show her all of my favorite movies. Hey man, Lucas waves from one of the couches in the corner. I make my way towards them. What did you want to talk about? We're all ears. So I briefly mentioned through MindLink earlier that I wanted to talk more about the Omegas at Silver Moon. They both nod. I'm not exactly sure what to do here, but the more Isla talks about what she thinks is normal there, the more I realize that all of the Omegas there have been severely mistreated. I tell them everything that she told me. Their mouths hang open. Never seen a movie? Not allowed to have medical attention? They echo my thoughts. I'm not sure how to approach this, as they are our neighboring pack and ideally our closest allies, but I can't have Isla's friends or any pack members, regardless of what pack they're from, treat it like that. I think you need to talk to your father about this, Lucas responds, and Cam nods in agreement. It sounds like something you would need to get the elders involved in. The elders. The peacekeepers of the werewolf world. I didn't think about them, actually. That is all. You've given me a lot to think about. Thanks, guys. I get up to go. Sure you don't want to stay and play a game with us? Not tonight. They make whip noises with their mouths and laugh. Just wait until you two imbeciles find your mate, and then you'll understand. Fine. Can't wait to officially meet her. I smile. I can't wait either. I know everyone is going to fall in love with her. Oh yeah, Lucas? See what you can do about changing that extra room. I motion to the door off the rec room. Into a theater. Preferably as quickly as possible. Consider it done. I'm left in the rec room to head up to my floor to get changed for bed, so I can head back down to Isla. The thought of seeing her again makes me smile, and I was so excited for her to wake up tomorrow and us to talk more and have breakfast. I was thinking of what I could bring her for breakfast tomorrow when I was suddenly pulled from my thoughts by a familiar figure leaning against my door. She took a break from checking out her always perfectly manicured nails to look up at me and smile. "Hello there, Jaxie. Where have you been? I've been looking for you for days now." "Ah, Jennifer. No need to always be so formal. I think we need to talk. I actually wanted to pull you aside, but everything got so hectic the past few days." "Yes, we do," she agrees, a bit too enthusiastically. I turn to head to my office that's on the same floor. The Alpha's floor was the 5th floor. Beta and Gamma share the 4th floor, with enough room for their families in their offices. The 3rd floor was for ranked pack members' families if they wanted to stay in the pack house after they left. Most of the previous ranked members ended up moving to the townhouses or the cottages outside of the pack house, so it was usually pretty empty and ended up being used as extra guest rooms when the 2nd floor was full. The 2nd floor was dedicated only to guest rooms for guests. "Where are you going?" she demands. "To my office." I pause to look back at her and see she hasn't moved an inch. "Are you coming?" "I thought we would talk in your room like we used to." "We broke up, Jennifer. I don't see any good coming from that. Now, come on. I've had a long day and have things I need to attend to this evening." Hurt momentarily crosses her face, which gets replaced by anger. "Fine." She stomps past me to my office and stands across the desk from my chair. "Would you like to sit?" She crosses her arms and stares at me. "I'll take that as a no." I sigh and sit down. I might as well have this conversation now so she really understands. I never wanted to hurt her. I just feel like she hasn't been able to move on from our breakup, but I know I haven't done much to help as I haven't set up clear boundaries. That would change from here on out. Jennifer and I have been off and on for years. She's one of our lead trainers and ended up falling into a comfortable friendship with Cam, Lucas, and I a few years back. We dated for almost 2 years, but I ultimately broke things off about a year back because she ended up getting clingy and really mean to other female members of the pack that I interacted with. I saw a different side of her after we started dating, and it took me a while to finally end it, even though my instincts told me to do it sooner. Cam and Lucas saw a different side of her too, and they tried to be nice to her for my sake, but I knew they didn't really care for her. Anyways, I was waiting for my mate. I knew I could never take a chosen mate, even if the idea started appealing to my parents. Jennifer's parents and mine have been close for a while. They knew each other before I really noticed Jennifer. Jennifer's mom comes from a long line of betas from another pack. Naturally, she has strong ranked blood in her. Her parents brought up the idea of joining our families together, and at first, my parents were completely against it. They both believed that the mate bond was something that was to be cherished above anything. However, they also believed that an alpha is only as strong as his Luna. The longer I was alpha of this pack without a Luna, the more they began to worry about the pack's future. Jennifer clung to the idea that we were going to be chosen mates, even after I ended things. I never wanted to hurt her. She wasn't a bad person, and I wanted her to be able to find her mate. I made it very clear that when I found my mate, she would be my Luna, and I refused to enter into any other kind of contract. My parents made it clear that they would support my decision no matter what, but I knew they were secretly pleased that I was holding out for my destined mate. I found my mate. I go ahead and say it. No need to beat around the bush. I hope that you can be happy for me and that we can remain friends. I wish nothing but the best for you and hope that you can find your mate out there as well. She scoffs but doesn't say anything, so I continue. I know that I haven't made this breakup easy, and I take full responsibility for that. I was referring to the fact that we slept together a few times after. She seemed to know when I was loneliest and would be there to try to cheer me up, waiting for me in my room. I can't blame her, as I want to take responsibility for my actions, but it was hard to resist her when I was feeling so down. You know your mate is weak. I heard she's an Omega. You know you don't have to accept her. Most of the pack doesn't know you even found your mate. They already consider me their Luna anyway. She walks towards me with her arms still crossed. I give her a confused look. Like hell they do, unless she's been talking behind my back, and I wouldn't put that past her. It wouldn't be so hard to send her back to where she came from, or she could go back to being a rogue, she scoffs. Save you the embarrassment from being mated to someone so low. I stand up and can't help but slam my fist on my desk. She jumps back a little. Let me make this very clear, and I want you to pass this on to anyone else that shares the same outdated sentiments as you. I do not care where my mate came from or what her station was. She was destined to me by the moon goddess herself. She is everything I've ever dreamed of and more. I see hurt cross Jennifer's face. She is my mate, and she will be your Luna. Now, it is up to you to decide if you want to have a friendly relationship with us or not. I sit back down. She says nothing, but seems to be shaking in fury. You have made a mistake, and you'll see. Maybe not tomorrow, but one day when our pack is weak, because our alpha chose his weak Omega mate over someone from Beta blood, someone that is a lead warrior. She sneers. If you have nothing else to say, get out, I say coolly, trying to rein in my anger. I'm sorry we can't remain friends. Now I think it would be best if you left. I don't look back up, but I hear her huff and stamp away, slamming the door behind her. Well, that went worse than I expected. I head back to my room to get changed and run back down to the pack clinic, putting the encounter behind me for the moment. Has she woken up? Has anything changed? I ask the nurse when I walk in, feeling guilty I was gone way longer than expected. I checked her a little bit ago. She seems perfectly fine in a deep sleep. Thanks so much for everything you're doing. I give her a smile that she returns. I head back to Isla's room and am immediately comforted by her scent that is all over the room. All of my worries about Jennifer, Rogues, and Silver Moon's Omegas seem to slip away instantaneously. I walk over and pull up my chair next to her bed. I take her small, soft hand in mine and lay my head on the edge of her bed and drift into an easy sleep for the first time in nights, knowing she will be okay. I wake up to something lightly brushing my face, and I open my eyes to the most beautiful sight in the world. Isla smiling down at me, her hair falling around her in a halo and her big green eyes sparkling. Good morning, sleepyhead, she smiles. I grab her fingers that are brushing up and down my cheek and intertwine them with mine as I sit up. I hope you haven't been waiting for me to wake up for too long. Not at all. I'm not even sure what time it is. I feel like I've been sleeping for days. Well, I guess that's because I have. She laughs a bit, music to my ears. So what can I get you? Are you hungry, thirsty? I could probably eat, but only if you want something. It might still be early. I check my watch. It's a little after 6 a.m. It's perfect timing, actually, I say. She groans a bit when she tries to shift in bed, and I immediately get worried. Are you okay? What hurts? I've just been sitting in this bed for I don't know how many days. Just regular aches, I guess. I'm just a bit sore and stiff. Let me see what I can do. Nurse? Yes, Alpha. Is there any way Isla could move around or get something to help her with her stiff muscles? Let me check with the doctor. A few minutes later, the nurse comes in and checks over all the machines, and then her eyes cloud over. Good news, you seem stable. The doctor thinks that you can take off the IV and most of these machines. You can go for a little walk around the room and I'll help you shower. But then you'll need to get back in bed. He wants to check you over himself again, so you're not free to leave the room just yet. Isla smiles and nods enthusiastically. I can help her walk around, I say, as the nurse double-checks some things and starts to unhook her. I take her hand as she makes a face, trying to distract herself from the discomfort. So what should we do today? Shrek 2, maybe another movie, or I can introduce you to the wide world of game shows. Some are really bad in a good way. She makes an adorable, confused face. You'll understand once you see them. I laugh. All right then, Miss Isla, I think you're ready. Alpha, it's Jackson. I mind link her. She doesn't know I'm the alpha yet, and I want to tell her myself. I don't want to shock her knowing she's going to be responsible for this pack. She's been through so much. I want to ease her into it. The nurse nods, understanding. Jackson, do you mind taking her arm? I help Isla out of the bed. Wow, there really was a height difference, at least a foot. She laughs and looks up at me when she realizes it too. You look taller laying down. I joke as I help her ease into the walking again. She groans a bit, stretching out her muscles that she hasn't been using in days, but quickly gets used to it. We take a few circles around the room, and she begins to walk faster with each circle. It looks like your leg has healed nicely, the nurse notes in approval. That feels so much better, she sighs. I can help you with your shower now. You'll feel good as new after that, the nurse says. Jackson, I can take it from here. I nod and look at Isla. I'll be back with breakfast when you're done. Do you mind linking me when I should come back? The nurse nods. It might take an hour or so. I want to help her stretch some muscles and see where she is in the healing process before we get her into a long hot shower. Perfect. I check my watch again. I can make it to training at 7 and then have time to get showered and bring her some breakfast in bed. I head to the training ring, and most of the pack warriors seem surprised to see me. Oh, look who's back, Lucas teases. Loverboy has made it outside, Cam chides. Let's get started. I want to get back to my Luna, I say. Most of the warriors cheer hearing this. I knew there had to be some speculation about where I was and the rogue girl that was taken in. I was happy to confirm that she was my mate. Have you seen Jen today? Cam asks me. I shake my head. I had a talk with her last night about Isla. She didn't take it very well. Maybe she skipped. That doesn't sound like her. She's always been here before I am sometimes. He shrugs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, since it's our alpha's first time training in a few days, I figured we would welcome him back. They all cheer, and I see a mischievous glint in his eye. Training was going to be hell, but it's exactly what I needed. Chapter 32. My Alpha. Jackson. Training felt like it took ages. I was constantly worried that Isla would be done early and waiting for me. It was obvious by the extra blows I took during sparring. When we were done, I didn't take time to wait around. I headed back to shower and get changed and ordered breakfast for her. I wasn't sure exactly what she liked, but I thought some pancakes, scrambled cheesy eggs. Our lead Omega Dawn makes the best eggs in the world. Fruit and bacon would be enough to start with. I make it down as the nurse is helping Isla back into bed and hooking up a few machines to her again. I sit down next to her when the nurse is finished. She smiles and pats Isla's hand. You did wonderfully and should be good as new by tomorrow. Thank you so much. I feel incredible, Isla replies. I take my seat next to her again, grasping her hand in mine. Breakfast is on the way. How was everything down here? Great. I took the longest shower of my life and all my muscles are loose now. I feel like I'm actually almost back to normal. I felt amazing hearing that. What did you do? She asks, looking genuinely curious, not prying like I was used to with Jennifer. I went to training. I've been slacking these past few days and then took a quick shower and came back here. Nothing too exciting. She looks a bit shocked. You go to training? She asks with wide eyes. Yes, everyone that wants to is allowed. It's actually encouraged even if you're not a warrior. We want all of our members to feel their best and be ready for anything. There's training every day at 7 a.m. It's only mandatory for the warriors and ranked members, though. Our breakfast comes and a huge smile widens across Isla's face. This looks like the best thing ever. Thank you so much, she gushes at the Omega that brought our food in. Thank you. It looks lovely. I agree. After a few minutes of eating in comfortable silence, there were a few things that I wanted to ask her, especially if she was going to be released tonight or tomorrow. So, Isla, I begin. I can't remember the last time I was this nervous. Would you like to come stay with me when you're allowed out? She looks shocked, so I quickly add, if you're not comfortable with that, I can arrange a room for yourself. I just want you near me. She thinks for a bit. I think I would like to stay with you. A wave of relief washes over me. But I don't want to sleep with you just yet. What I mean is, I would like to stay with you, but not sleep with you. Well, I mean, I would like that, but just not right now. She quickly stops talking and shoves a huge bite of eggs in her mouth when she realizes she's rambling. Her face flushes a bit pink, giving her away. I grab her chin in my hand, her whole face about the size of my palm. Isla, there is nothing I will ever pressure you into. I just want you to be close to me. I can hear her gulp as I place a soft kiss on her nose. She blushes deeper, and I can't help but smile at that. My mom went ahead and picked up some things for you so that you'll have the basics, but we can go get anything else you want. From where? What do you mean? We can go into the city to get anything we need. You can come if you want. My mom would love that. We're allowed out? Yes, of course. We can go wherever we want. I am a bit shocked, even though I know she said she mostly worked in the pack house. I didn't realize that she hasn't ever left. Have you ever left the pack grounds of Silver Moon? She looks down at her hands and shakes her head no. Oh, well, that means I have a lot to show you. I flash a smile at her, and after a while, she reluctantly returns it. How would you feel about meeting some of the pack members in the next few days? Maybe at dinner if you're feeling up for it? Oh, I actually did meet the Luna. I freeze and look up. My mom was here? I told her not to butt in. Is that okay? She looks at the anger in my face, and I struggle to compose myself. She came down here and said hi. It was actually kind of nice of her, but I didn't think she liked me too much. She shrugs. Wait, what did she say? She asked how long I would be here for and said that she saved me. I was really confused now and really angry at my mom. Do you mind if I take a few minutes? I just need to talk with someone. I ask her, and she nods sweetly. I step out of the room and close the door behind me. I didn't want Isla to see me angry. Mom? Yes, honey? Did you need me to pick up something else for Isla? No, Mom. Why did you come see her? I told you to let her ease in. I want to be with her when I introduce her to everyone. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her yet. She said she met this pack's Luna. Honey, I gave up that role when you took over this pack at 18. As much as I loved being Luna, I wouldn't refer to myself like that anymore. Who do you think I am? Oh, I'm sorry. Isla said someone came down and introduced themselves as Luna. Honey, she has probably been out of it. Maybe it was a dream. Or maybe... I know what you're thinking. You're probably right. Sorry again. I shouldn't have assumed. I understand why you thought that. Love you, baby. Love you too, Mom. I walk back into the room and take my seat next to Isla. Do you mind me asking what Luna looked like? She looks confused. You've never seen the Luna before? It will take a bit to explain, and I promise I'll explain everything to you soon. But there's someone here that thinks they're going to be the Luna, but they're not. That doesn't help her confused look. I realize I'm not explaining it too well. I will tell her everything, but I want to start with my being the alpha first. Super pretty, blonde curls. I forgot what color eyes. I only saw her for a few minutes. Sorry. Fuck, that was Jennifer then. The audacity of her coming down to talk to my mate, introducing herself as the Luna. She went too far, and I want to make sure she's dealt with. Lucas, Cam. Yes, sir. What's up, boss? I want a guard outside Isla's door for the rest of the time she's at the hospital. No one besides me and the doctor and nurses are allowed in. It's done. I'll send someone now. What happened? Apparently, Jennifer has already been here. They both groan. I also want to speak with her if you can find her for me. Send her up to my office and I'll deal with her. No one has seen her since last night. I told you she missed training and I ran into her mom after and she said she's gone. Apparently went to visit an aunt at a neighboring pack or something. Fuck, why? Probably trying to get over you, man. I'll be the first to know if and when she returns. Of course. I honestly felt relieved that she was gone. I wouldn't forget what she has done, but I'm glad that we wouldn't be running into her in the near future. It would make things so much easier for Isla to adjust to her new pack and future role. Isla. We spent all morning talking. It was nice to finally start feeling like myself again. I wasn't groggy anymore and my body didn't hurt so much. I haven't heard from Adrastea that often, but I figured it was because she was focusing on healing me. I learned that Jackson was an only child. His parents wanted more, but they were never blessed with any. He told me all about his childhood and his best friends that he grew up with, Lucas and Cameron. Some of the stories he told me made me laugh so much. They sounded like they were troublemakers, Lucas especially. I couldn't wait to meet them and his parents. I was really nervous, but more excited than anything. I felt as if I already knew them, hearing Jackson talk about them so fondly and sharing all his memories with me. He never took my hand out of his and stared at me with such intensity I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. I finally understood the mate bond. I always heard about the initial wild attraction that you wouldn't want anyone else and that there would be sparks and fireworks going through your body, but it was so much more than that. He was everything I could have asked for. He was everything I dreamed of when reading those fairy tales. He really was my knight in shining armor, as cheesy as it is to even think that. He was so attentive, caring, and kind. He had a great relationship with those around him, and even the nurses and doctors seemed to respect him. It was so much more than the physical attraction to this beautiful man. I was falling for his personality too. He really was my perfect match. A sharp knock at the door tore me from my thoughts. "Hello, Miss Isla, Jackson." The doctor nodded at both of us. "The nurse said you did extremely well this morning and that your injuries seem to be fully healed. How are you feeling?" "I actually feel fine. Better than fine, actually," I responded honestly. I was actually enjoying my time here, being with Jackson all day, getting actual rest, and eating the best food I've ever had. I was a bit reluctant to go back to the real world and go back to work. I know that was selfish, but I couldn't help feeling guilty. I need to be doing my part for my new pack. He checks the machines and his clipboard again, and then moves on to look me over. "May I?" he asks before touching my knee and moving my leg and foot to both sides. "Any pain?" "None at all," I smile, feeling relieved. "Thanks, Adrastea." "No problem, sweet cheeks." "I hate it, but I'll let you use it for today." "Well then, I think you're all set to go. I want you to come back in a few days for a check-in, and this goes without being said." He looks at both me and Jackson. "If you feel anything out of the ordinary, any more pain, fever, headache, come back to me immediately." "Yes, sir, we will, but I hope that's not the case." Jackson stands to shake the doctor's hand. "Thank you for your support these past few days. I owe you." "Just doing my job." He turns to me. "It was great to meet you, Isla. I hope to see you again on better terms." "Thank you so much. You've all been incredible." He heads out the door and Jackson turns to me. He can't contain his excitement. "Crap, I forgot to bring you your clothes. I didn't expect you to be let out until tomorrow. Give me a second." His eyes cloud over. Lucas is coming to bring down some comfortable clothes for you to change into, and then I'll take you to our room, if you want to shower or anything. If you're up for it, I would love to take you to the gardens and stretch your legs again. Then we can have dinner, maybe in our room. He gets more excited as he talks. I put my hand on his arm. That all sounds lovely, but don't we have to work? You just got released. You're not working yet. And besides, I need to show you around your new pack. I smile at him. I can't wait to spend the rest of the day with him. I just hope the other Omegas don't get mad seeing me ignoring my responsibilities. It doesn't make for a great impression. There's a quick knock. Come in, Jackson says. I swear I hear him sigh. A tall man, almost as tall as Jackson, comes barreling into the room and stands at the end of my bed. We've been waiting for you for 8 years, he says. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the Great Moonstone Pack. He takes my hand in his and gives it a kiss. I see Jackson roll his eyes out of the corner of mine. The pleasure is all mine. Jackson has told me a lot about you, Lucas. All bad things, I hope. I giggle. He hands me a duffel bag. Your things, milady. Why, thank you, I say, opening it up and pulling out a pair of black leggings and a soft green sweater. There was also a fresh pair of underwear, a toothbrush, socks, and some slip-on type shoes I didn't know the name of. His mom really thought of everything. I was nervous thinking about how much this had cost her. I would have to find a way to repay her soon. Okay. I'll see you later. Depending on how Isla is feeling, we might meet you for dinner, Jackson says impatiently, ushering him out of the room. Fine, but you can't hide her away forever. He winks at me before he leaves. I like him, I say to Jackson. He can be a bit much, annoying most of the time, but I've never met anyone more loyal. Now, do you need any help getting to the bathroom? I think I got it. I stretch my legs over the side of the bed and hop lightly to the floor. See, I'm good as new. I get dressed and brush my teeth as quickly as I can, my nerves and excitement making it harder to focus. Finally, I come out and Jackson is waiting for me. He takes the duffel bag and stretches out his arm for me. I'll show you to our room first, so we can drop off the bag and see if you're missing anything. We head out of the clinic and down a long hallway that connects to the rest of the pack house. We don't pass many pack members, but the ones we do pass stare at Jackson and then at me. Some even whisper to each other. Jackson, why is everyone looking at me? I whisper once we pass another shocked face. They're just surprised you're here. That literally makes no sense. Who would worry about a new Omega? That was hardly news. My thoughts were interrupted when we reach an elevator. We get in and he presses the 5th floor. I thought we were going to our room. We are, he says. This was definitely a strange pack, having Omega quarters so close to the ranked members. We step out into a gorgeous hallway. Different from the wood I was used to covering everything in Silver Moon. The walls were made of stone, but there were enough windows that it felt open and bright. Running down the middle of the hallway was a thick blue rug that I instantly wanted to walk barefoot on, but I knew I would never be allowed to. Since our pack is bordered on one side by mountains, we first built our pack house using a lot of stone from it. I guess you haven't seen the outside, but it fits in well with the mountains and is almost hidden. I think I heard that about Silver Moon too, that they used the wood from the forest around them to build their pack house. He nods. 2 of the oldest packs in existence. That's why our alliance is so important. Our ancestors started out together and we want to keep that bond strong. We walk down the hall and he points out a door. So, this is my office. Across the hall will be yours. What is he talking about? Why does he have an office? Is he a lead warrior or something? Son of the lead Omega? Maybe that's how he got his mom to have the Omegas make that lasagna for me. I wasn't expecting to be mated to the son of a lead Omega. That was going to come with a lot of responsibility. He pulls me behind him and opens the door to a large room. It has a California king bed in the middle, stone floors again with large whitish cream rugs covering most of it. The walls were painted a cream that reflected the light from the massive windows. A sitting area with a TV was to one side. Some kind of gaming thing I've seen in the rec room of Silver Moon. A massive couch and a few chairs. I scanned the room and saw an open door to a walk-in closet and another door which I assumed is a door to the bathroom. I see an opening of a floor-to-ceiling window. No, that's another door. I guess to a balcony. The view of the mountain behind it is breathtaking. The room was tasteful and bright, mostly creams and whites with a few dark blue accents. He looks nervous. Of course we can change it around however you like. This was only my room before, obviously. My mom had it redecorated before I took over, and I never bothered changing it. I had the books I brought you brought up here. I'm going to have someone install a bookshelf and a reading nook for you, but I figured you wanted to help design it. I spotted my Pride and Prejudice book from Abigail on one of the bedside tables. He follows my gaze. Of course, you can choose whatever side you want. I just put it there to keep it safe. What is this place? He turns around to me and pulls me to the large couch and puts me on his lap. I cuddle closer to him, letting his scent calm me, but the confusion never leaves. I don't know the best way to tell you this, or when, so I guess I'll just go ahead and say it. I pull away from his chest and look him in the eyes. I'm the Alpha. My eyes go wide. My knight in shining armor was actually a king. Chapter 33A. Meet the Parents. Jackson. Isla doesn't say anything for a minute straight. Normally, telling someone that their mate was an alpha would be something that they would be thrilled about. I had the feeling that Isla wasn't that type of person that cared about rank. I couldn't read her emotions, but her face seemed to flash between shock, confusion, worry, and was that panic? Isla, sweetie, please say something. Alpha? Was all she could manage. I promise that you won't have to take over any responsibility until you're ready. I have been running this pack fine with Lucas and Cam. My mom will be here to help you every step of the way. So, Lucas and Cam, my beta and gamma, yes, I nod. I take her chin in my hand, tilting her face up so she's looking at me. We will do this at your pace, I promise. Nothing will change between us. It's just you and me, Isla. Titles don't matter. All that matters is us together. I see tears well up in her eyes. I hope they were happy and I didn't completely fuck that up. Romance was never my strong suit, but it seemed more natural with her. Thank you, she finally whispers. I wipe a tear that finally falls. I'm just a bit overwhelmed. This past week has been a lot. I'll be here now for you until forever. You won't have to face anything alone ever again. Isla. I feel so overwhelmed with emotion, mostly gratitude for this man in front of me. I wouldn't ever be alone again. Well, I was never really alone before. I had Abigail. Oh, Abigail. Jackson? Yes. I know it's a bit early to be making requests. I paused, not sure how to go about this. Anything you want, I'll give it to you. I smiled at that, but this seems like a huge request. Do you think it might be okay if Abigail came here? She's a great worker and would be a huge asset. I paused, waiting for his reaction, hoping he wouldn't be mad. That's it? He asks. We already invited her before we found you. I looked up at him and cocked my head. I was really going to need his side of the story. I realized there were so many things I was missing out on. She didn't officially accept, but I think now that she knows that you're okay and happy here. Well, I hope you're happy here. He leaves the question open. I smile at him. I genuinely have been happier here these past few days in the hospital than I have been my entire life. Very happy, I agree. Great. Well, then we will extend the invitation again. Lucas will be thrilled. He developed a huge soft spot for her. I pictured them together, and that warmed my heart. I don't want to put too much on you yet, but if you would like to help choose a townhouse for her to live in, we can get it cleaned up and set up for her. You know her better than anyone. A townhouse? Yes, most of our Omegas live in their own cottages outside the pack house. Some of them live here in the rooms on the first floor, but in the back of the pack house. But after many of them find their mates and settle down, they naturally want their own space. We have a few townhouses since our pack has grown. Not really my taste, but Mother insisted and thought they would make us more modern. They're near our little downtown area, if you could call it that. It's very small, but it has a few shops and some places to eat. We want it to be able to provide the pack members a way of making money outside of the pack house and our companies, but still within the pack. How do they make money in the pack house? Just like you did, with your Omega salary. What do you mean? Salary, like your weekly paycheck, or maybe it was monthly. We didn't get paid. We were Omegas. I explain again, not sure what part he wasn't getting. He starts to shake under me, and I can feel anger rolling off of him. He takes a few deep breaths and puts his arms around me, burying his face in my hair, and starts to calm down. Sorry about that, he says, forcing calm into his voice. Well, Omegas here get paid for their work. Actually, in most civilized packs, they do. Wow, that was nice. Outside of that, we realized that some people wanted to set up shops, and instead of taking them outside the pack, we thought we would give them the opportunity to set them up here. We have an amazing bakery, a florist run by our retired previous head Omega, and all kinds of craft shops. Bryce, Cam's second in command, actually is an amazing leather worker and set up a little shop to sell his work on the side. I'll take you to the market on Saturday if you want. I think you'll love it. Around that are townhouses, just a street or two of them, but they're bigger than the Omega cottages, and I would like to give one to Abigail if you think she would like it. That is really generous of you. Almost too generous, but like I said, we don't have any money. Isla, I would take care of it. She wouldn't need to pay for anything. If you think she would be more comfortable, she can take a cottage or even stay here. We have rooms on the third floor for ranked members' families. My parents lived there until a few years ago, while they helped me transition to this new role. Abigail is family after all. I cannot believe that I got so lucky. He is so amazing, and the way that he looks out for his pack members is better than I could have ever hoped for. I can't stop the tears that are pooling from my eyes. Isla, baby, it's okay. He whispers and rubs the tears away. I was falling for this man so fast it was scary. I take a deep breath and look at him, getting closer than we've ever been. I feel his warm breath fan across my face, and it gives me goosebumps. As if he knew what I wanted, he looked me in the eyes, questioning, and I gave him a nod. All of a sudden, my mouth was enveloped by his, the softest yet most passionate kiss. I had nothing to compare it to, but I knew I would never get tired of kissing him. My body erupted in warmth, and my stomach felt like it would explode with butterflies. I put my arms around his neck and responded to his warm, soft lips. He put one hand on my lower back, pulling me closer, and his other hand tangled in my hair. He licked my bottom lip softly with his tongue, and I opened my mouth a bit, giving him access. His tongue ran against mine, and I finally had to break free for some air. Gasping, my cheeks flushed, and I looked into his eyes. Did I do that right? I ask between breaths. His eyes light up, and he laughs. That was the best kiss of my life, he says, before placing a kiss on my forehead, both cheeks, and one soft lingering one on my lips. I sigh and melt into his chest. We sit there like that for a few minutes as I relax listening to the sound of his heart. As much as I would love to stay here all day kissing you, can I show you the pack gardens before it gets dark? The doctor wants you to stay moving, and we need to get some fluids into you too. I don't want you having to go back to the hospital. I reluctantly pull away and nod in agreement. You might want to grab a jacket. It's getting a bit cold out there. I head to the walk-in closet, and I can't believe the size of it. The room alone was about 4 times the size of my room back home. There were racks of suits and men's clothes, an entire wall of shoes and drawers that I'm sure were full of expensive watches and ties that I saw Alpha Benjamin always wear. I didn't see anything that could be girls' clothes, though. Jackson? I call. In an instant, he's at the closet door. Oh, yeah, I guess this is kind of confusing. He takes my hand and we walk through a small opening hidden behind a standalone mirror. I never used this side, so I moved a mirror in front of it. Here is your part. My mom expanded this closet when she was Luna. She went a bit overboard, though, he warned me. This closet, my closet, was double the size of Jackson's, with a massive table in the middle. I wasn't sure what that would be used for. On the far end was a floor-to-ceiling mirror, a sofa, 2 chairs, and a vanity all in sky blue that accented the light wood of the closet perfectly. I wasn't sure what all the seating was for. Was I going to be hosting parties in here? The floor was stone again, which peeked out under a massive cream rug. Both the walls were covered in open closet space, with some shelves and drawers in between. I noticed that one of the sides was already completely full. On the wall closet was a space that looked like it would be for shoes, bags, and accessories. There were already some expensive-looking bags on that wall and some heels that I knew would break my ankle trying to walk in. Jackson shakes his head. I think your mom left some of her things here, I say. No, this was completely empty. All of this stuff is for you. I look back and actually take it all in. I noticed a few floor-length garments. Dresses that looked like they were fit for fancy dinner parties hung next to them. I saw shelves of sweaters and comfortable-looking shirts, and I let out a sigh of relief when I opened a drawer and saw that it contained jeans and leggings. Okay, wow, this is so nice of her. I never owned a dress before, let alone a whole closet's worth. Do you think you can help me find a jacket? I asked Jackson. I'm sorry. I honestly told her to get you the basics and let you choose the rest. I didn't realize that she thought you would be needing a ball gown in the next few days. I honestly love it. The sweaters and jeans and everything is just my style, I think. I realized I had never chosen my clothes before and just wore hand-me-downs. Jackson raises an eyebrow at this but doesn't ask. He finds a few jackets hanging up behind a long trench coat. Honestly, I don't know what my mother was thinking. He laughs a bit. He helps me into a plain black jacket that is just my size and lined on the inside with something that was so warm. I've never felt anything like this. I run my hands on the inside of it. It's the fur of our enemies. He gives me a devious smile. I immediately freeze, about to take it off. I guess he does have a reputation that I easily forgot about because he was so sweet. I'm joking. He laughs, and relief washes over me, back to being the Jackson that I knew. You thought I was serious, didn't you? He asks. Well, I have heard of you before. I hesitate, not wanting to offend him. And? I hesitate for a second, but decide to be honest. And? I play with the hem of my jacket. I've heard that you were ruthless, vicious, and cold. All things I know not to be true now. He nods but doesn't say anything, so I continue. I heard you took over smaller packs and attacked them or something, I say, waving it off, showing how little stock I put into the rumors. Well, he pauses. That is true. Oh. I only took over the packs when their leadership was bad enough that the pack members were suffering. I gave them a choice to join or to reform their pack under new leadership. Everyone that I gave that choice decided to join. Oh, well, that makes sense then. A sense of relief washes over me, but I don't want him to see that. Yes, he muses, but I do see how those rumors get started. especially because there are a few people that were close to the Alpha's packs I took over that would paint me as the bad guy. These were packs that were only run for the Alpha's benefit. One of them had their entire pack of almost 100 women, children, and elderly included fight other packs. When I got to them, before I even challenged their Alpha, they all wanted to join us. Wow, that's rough. I thought Alpha Benjamin was bad, I mused. Alpha Benjamin is bad, especially for an established pack, but to be fair, I have seen worse. I nodded, thinking there was a lot I didn't know about our world. Shall we? He put his arm out towards mine, and I take it. We walked out the back door, and I gasped out loud. We were so much closer to the mountains than I thought. They looked almost purple up close, and I could see some snow at the top of their peaks. A cold, fresh wind blew against my face, and I instinctively moved closer to Jackson, who put his arm around me. Do you like it? He asks. That is an understatement. I don't think I'll ever get used to this view. He beams at me and turns me around. See there? He asks, pointing to a large balcony near the top of the pack house. That is our balcony. You'll never be far away from all of this. He gestures around him. I still feel like I'm in shock. A gorgeous mate, a breathtaking new pack. Oh, and I guess I'm going to be the Luna of it all. I honestly would have settled for a room with my mate, but all of this was so much. Too much for anyone. I don't feel like I deserve it. You do deserve it, Isla. I hope so. I want to be a strong Luna for him and his pack, but I don't even know what that means. We will figure it out together. Plus, we won't be alone. We have him and his family, and Abigail will be here hopefully. You're right, it's just a lot. It is, I won't deny that. Omega to Luna in less than a week and throw in a few near-death and traumatic experiences. I laugh out loud and Jackson looks at me. I'm glad I have you. I'm always here, baby girl. If you survived last week, hell, if you survived your first 18 years, being Luna will be a walk in the park. I hope you're right. I can't remember a time I was wrong. Everything okay? Jackson asks me, taking my hand, leading me towards a hedge maze to the side of the pack house. This really was my own fairy tale. Yeah, I sigh. I was just talking with my wolf. She's trying to convince me I deserve this all. I wave to the gardens and the pack house and then him. You deserve this and more. You are the most selfless person, and I am going to give you the world. He takes my face in his and gives me a long kiss. Butterflies erupt in my stomach, and my legs feel like jelly. He pulls me close to him so I don't have to worry about trying to stand and just focus on him. How his muscles feel under his shirt when I run my hands up his chest. How his large hands encircle my body, the sparks erupting from my lips. I hear a soft cough in the distance and Jackson reluctantly pulls away. I sigh and he helps me stand next to him. Chapter 33b. Meet the Parents. Jackson. As luck would have it, or as my mother says, there is no such thing as luck, only hard work and perseverance. My parents round the corner, coming out of the maze. I wouldn't be surprised if my mother persevered her way into meeting Isla. Great, I mutter under my breath. Isla looks to my parents and back at me with a confused look. No use trying to run away now. They've seen me. Hello, Mother, Father, I say, nodding to them when they're close enough. Isla grasps my hand and her eyes go wide. I don't think you've had the pleasure of meeting my mate yet. My voice dripping with sarcasm. If my mother notices my sarcasm, she doesn't say anything. Oh no, we haven't had the absolute pleasure, she says, taking one of Isla's hands in her cashmere glove-covered one. It's so nice to meet you. We've been waiting for ages for this. That's what everyone keeps saying. Isla laughs a bit, visibly loosening up. Thank you so much for all the clothes. I can't even imagine the effort that you went through for me, she says genuinely. Oh, it was no trouble at all. I insist you let me take you out sometime soon to fill the rest of your closet. I give my mom a stern look. Jackson, you promised, she retorts, and I can just sigh. I mouth, I'm sorry to Isla, and she just shakes her head and gives me a smile. I hope my son has been treating you with respect. She looks at me instead of Isla with an accusatory stare. Oh, he has been the perfect gentleman. He made me the best grilled cheese I ever had. My mom laughs and pats Isla's hand. Is that lasagna really your recipe? It was the best thing I've ever tasted. Isla looks at me apologetically. Well, besides your grilled cheese, she adds. I'm not offended. My mom's lasagna is the best in the world. I'll teach you how to make it if you'd like, my mom says to Isla, and she nods enthusiastically. My dad coughs. Oh yes, this is my husband, my mate, my world, Jackson's father. She looks lovingly at him, and he comes to put an arm around her shoulder. It's great to meet you. I can already tell you will be a huge asset to this pack. Just what Jackson and this pack needs, he says honestly. Thank you, Isla whispers. I will need as much guidance as I can get. I'm not sure what Jackson has told you about me, or honestly how he knows so much about me, but I don't have parents anymore, and I've never even dreamed of being a Luna, so I am at a bit of a loss. She trails off, seeming embarrassed. Oh, sweetie, that is what we're here for. You won't be alone in this even for a second. Isla smiles at my mom. That's what Jackson said. My mom spares me a smile and then turns back to Isla, leading her towards the gardens. My dad and I follow. Well, it was nice having her for myself for almost 24 hours. I sigh as my dad claps me on the back. She's finally getting a daughter figure that she never had. Someone to dress up, someone to teach. I'm sure you'll be seeing much more of us, he states. To be honest, even meeting her for a few minutes there, I think she will make the perfect Luna. I agree. We walk behind our girls for a few minutes in comfortable silence. Dad? Yes, son. Do you mind if I talk to you about something? This isn't where babies come from, is it? He stops and gives me a mischievous smile. Don't start, I laugh. This is serious, though. I pause and let my mom and Isla get a few more steps ahead of us before we continue behind them. I wanted to fill you in on another pax. I pause for the right word. Wrongdoings. I finally settle on. I've never had to deal with anything like this, and I'm not sure what the best way to go about this is, if there even is the best way. I tell him everything I told Cam and Lucas. Everything I saw for myself in the cramped attic bedroom that Abigail mentioned and what Isla let slip that she thought was normal. My dad is shaking with rage when I finish. Those aren't Omegas there, they're slaves. He looks back to Isla. I can't imagine anyone treating that sweet girl like that. He sighs, saddened by this. It makes me happy that he already feels protective over her, but this situation isn't ideal. And I hate thinking that my mate grew up in such a place and thought it was normal. I wonder how long this has been going on for. My dad stops to think. I dealt with Alpha Benjamin and his predecessor previously, but I can't seem to recall his name. I can see what I can get out of Isla, but she has lived like this since she got there when she was 4, so it must have been going on before then, I say. I just don't want her to relive any of that yet that she just left behind. I know, son. I'll ask around and see if anyone knows anything. Us, previous, or should I say old alphas. He laughs. As I'm sure I am to you. Still have a good relationship. I'll see if they've noticed anything and try to piece a timeline together. Maybe Alpha Benjamin has inherited his pack like this and thinks that's how Omega should be treated. I just can't imagine anyone treating another person like that and thinking it was normal. He shakes his head. My mom and Isla turn back and walk towards us. It's getting a little chilly. I think we should get Isla inside, my mom says protectively. When we get back to the pack house, my mom finally lets go of Isla and gives her back to me. I instinctively put my arm around her, missing her there already. "We will have dinner soon, won't we?" She addresses Isla, knowing what I'll say about letting her ease into it. "I would love that," Isla agrees enthusiastically. I see that she is genuinely excited. My mom claps her hands together and then whispers to her, "And I'll see if the big bad alpha will let us out for a girls' trip if he's not being too protective." She eyes me and Isla laughs. "Thank you so much for everything." "Gianna," my mom says, "my family comes from a long line of Italians. The lasagna recipe has been in the family for centuries, and I'll give it to you to pass down to your pups." I see Isla blush. "Mom, please." "And this is William," my mom says, ignoring me. "We are so happy to have you as part of our family. We will see you soon," she says, directing the last part at me with a knowing look. Chapter 34.